Hi, everyone. This is Matt. Welcome to Abide. We're in Matthew chapter 5 today. We're just starting the Sermon on the Mount. The goal here is to enjoy and be nourished by and changed by the teaching of Jesus. And I just want to say right up front, as we get into the teaching of Jesus, that I feel like his teaching, because he is the divine Son of God, fully God, fully man, his teaching needs no augmentation. It needs no excitement added to it. There's nothing that I can add. I'm so reluctant at a lot of levels to say anything about the Sermon on the Mount because there's nothing any of us can add to it. It is perfection already. Sometimes, however, I think the things that Jesus teaches can use some explanation so we can understand more fully, and that will lead to more enjoyment and more obedience when we really understand what's going on. So just taking a look at this very first part of the sermon, we have these 8 or 9 statements, depending on how you divide it up. Some say there's 8, some say there's 9. But just look at it in your copy of the Bible. They all start with blessed. Blessed are the so forth. And I think the best way to get a handle on what's happening here is just think back to the 10 Commandments, Exodus 20. Think about the commandments that God gave to the nation of Israel. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Do not murder, do not steal, do not bear false witness. Right? This list of mostly don'ts related to external ways that we show obedience to God. Don't, so on and so forth. Well, look at this list. This is completely different. Same God, but completely different emphasis. All of these things are related to what happens on the inside of us. Jesus is addressing the inner person. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. We're going to talk about all those things, but just notice how all of these statements address the inner person. So we're not talking about external compliance anymore. If you think about the 10 Commandments, it's possible to keep them. It's possible to go through life and not steal and not murder and not commit adultery. We can keep all those things and yet on the inside be very ungodly and have no love for God. Like I could go through life potentially and not murder anybody. I can say I kept that commandment, but there can still be no love for God on the inside. And that is what Jesus is developing here in the Sermon on the Mount. That'll be the consistent theme, is how do we really love God from the inside out? And so we have this beautiful list of these 8 and 9 qualities that relate to the inner person. And the first one is the most important. That's why it's first. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The very first thing we have to know is that I can't. To be poor in spirit means to be a spiritual pauper, to be in spiritual poverty, to look at our own heart and say, I do not have within me what it takes to give God what he requires. You don't. I don't. Being poor in spirit means we need a salvation that comes to us from the outside. We need someone else to come and offer an obedience to God that we simply can't offer. And so this very first statement sets the stage for Jesus Christ himself to come and be our all in all, because we simply can't do all of these things that it says. We can try to be merciful. We can try to hunger and thirst for righteousness. We can try to do all these things. And Christ leads us down that road and we can grow. But we can't do it 100%. And that's what God requires. So blessed are those who recognize that. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. They're the ones who will live in God's presence forever. Those who know, who look at themselves and say, I can't. I need somebody else. Blessed are the poor in spirit. See you next time.